When the fire feels faint, let perseverance kindle your inner strength.
All right, we're back.
We're back.
We're back. So we are having a conversation today about when the fire feels faint.
Yes.
Because we've been living that out recently.
Yes.
And we definitely want to include everyone in this conversation because we know that it can be at times feel like you're all by yourself and you're kind of going through these moments, and we're going to share our season and hopefully it'll help somebody else feel encouraged and not so alone. So definitely for us, life has been kind of real.
Yeah. So this is episode 14. When the fire feels faint is our topic of the day. And it's just that season where life gets heavy and you have to slow down.
Yeah.
We do have the journal, The Embers to Ashes, and a lot of encouragement in there about burnout.
Right.
It's ironic. It feels like everything that we have put out as far as burnout and grief and
we
worry,
have to live out.
We are living out.
Yeah.
We are living it out.
So for you and me, we're both in a kind of we talk about the pressure cooker, and we're talking a lot today about fire and not letting the fire go out, but also the pressure and the fire of external. So there's a metaphor between the fire externally and the fire internally. So we want the fire externally to distinguish that because we all feel that. We feel that from the pressures that come, the things that we experience with loss and burnout, and that comes hopefully as a metaphor to burn away impurities, help us refine, help us get better. But oftentimes it only comes through pain, right? It only comes through experience, what is known as going through the fire. And we also want to acknowledge the internal passion, the exuberance for life, having that fire not go out inside of us, and it can kind of feel like it's gone all the way down to ashes. And so today we're talking about just rebuilding that and in the middle of all those moments. So having for me personally right now, in a master's program, you're in an accelerated education program that's basically like 3 times the work. We're both working full time, high demand jobs, taking care of those situations, the pressure cooker of those items alone. You're in clinicals. I'm getting ready to start clinicals. Clinicals means challenges with jobs. It means challenges with figuring it out. I've got to make a big decision like tomorrow. You've been, sick, and life sometimes forced us to slow down.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a while since we put content out just because of the rhythm of life. And even, I shared something with you, a passion that I had about serving people and a heart for missions. And you're such a problem solver. And for you, it's really difficult because you have that, I want to fix it. I want to make it happen. We're going to make it happen. And I shared something with you, like maybe if you put it down on paper, it might've been 3 sentences, maybe a paragraph. And, 2 days later, you came back with like a 48-page, like detailed plan of how we're going to pull this off, how we're going to make this happen. And then that week got on a call for a check-in for clinical preparation and found out like everything is going to get pushed back like 6 months. And so it was like a total, like felt like, here we've made some progress, and then here comes life and knocks us back down again.
We both got very excited because
we do
have that internal passion for people, and more so than even just the podcast. Like we want to have a mission field that is ever present and that is local, and we're helping people in a real way. And that's still to come, I think, but it's something difficult that has to be put we have to put a little further down the road.
Right. It's difficult because when you're trying to do your best, especially if you're trying to level up, especially if you're trying to, punch up from where you're at, because anybody can punch down, right?
Yeah.
We're trying to, go up a weight class, whatever metaphor you need to work. But we're working so that we can create more opportunities in the future, that we have more flexibility to be able to serve more and align our careers to be more servant oriented. And what we realize is that it has taken everything, instead of like thinking we had, oh, we'll be able to do this and this and this and this. By the time you just take care of your family, you just take care of the needs that are ever present, and money is tight, and everyone's feeling, the crunch of economic situations, just that pressure alone. But then if you add on top of that, you're trying to excel at work, or you're trying to
go back to
school, or you're trying to get your relationship healthy, or dealing with a family member that may be sick, or stress on job, or whatever, a myriad of things. And oftentimes it feels like we're trying our best and we still don't have enough faith. We don't have enough in the tank, right? But you haven't lost faith, even if it's like quieter than it used to be, and even if you feel faint, right? Don't stop doing well. Paraphrasing scripture, don't stop doing well. When you feel like quitting, find a way to fan the flame again, even if it's burnt all the way down to those ashes. I remember being a Boy Scout, and we would go, and we didn't know what we were doing. It was such a crazy Boy Scout troop. I don't think we did anything right, because it was through our church, and there's so many stories there I could tell. But I can remember distinctly as the first time like getting out on my own and like camping with not my family. And of course my mother was there with the Boy Scouts. I don't even, that's crazy that I remember that, but I can remember distinctly like rebuilding that fire for the first time in my life. We had made a big fire to cook over, and then in the morning the fire had gone all the way down, but the goal as a Boy Scout was to get that fire back up without using a bunch of starters or all those things. So working on making that happen again. So seeing that is possible. It is possible, even if you feel like you've kind of run out and on empty. Don't, because you will see a harvest if you don't quit.
Well, and I think it's humbling when you have to slow down.
Yeah.
Recently, being sick and with work and being a nurse, there are certain fields that you work in that you require out all day, every day. Like it is
right.
And the crazy part is that I love the pouring out part. I hate the part that sits at the desk and has to do all the charting and all the legal mumbo jumbo stuff. I do not love that.
Right.
But the part where I get to touch a patient and love on a patient and teach a patient and help a patient heal, like those are the parts of being a nurse that I love. Those make my heart sing, as you say all the time. And it's been humbling this last week, not being out of bed, being sick, having you take care of me, right? Like that was, I'm usually not on that end of the caretaking spectrum. So it was nice.
You're not a good patient.
I am not a good patient. Most nurses are not good patients. So let's just be honest about that.
Getting you to take medicine alone is
okay. But it was humbling to have to slow down.
Yeah.
It was humbling to have to be like, okay. And like you said, I'm a firefighter. I'm a list maker. Okay. If this is our goal, then XYZ, what do we have to do? And what is the timeline? And who do we have to know? Man. And who do we have to get in place to get it done? So that's how my brain works, very logistically. And it's been very humbling to have to slow down this last week. I wanted to read this. So this is a poem that I wrote for our book.
Yeah.
And I think it's just very fitting today. It says, burnout doesn't mean you're weak. It means you've been strong for too long. This is your invitation to stop striving, to start listening, and to let healing begin at a pace of grace.
Yeah.
And that comes from a real place of real burnout.
Yeah. I feel like just a quick check. I said something earlier about we can use these metaphors and even scripture or whatever it may be, inspirational quotes, and we can often overgeneralize. And we say, don't give up, don't quit. If you won't quit, you'll eventually reap a harvest. If you find a way to fan the flames again and get that passion, that excitement for life.
But the embers is still your passion.
Absolutely. When you're in burnout, it's everything goes numb, or it's just pain, just constant pain. And then you come out of it and you kind of get hope again. And it feels like something comes and just washes away, and life happens and you get knocked back down, but your resilience builds back up. But I want to say this really quick, because I think about it. It doesn't mean that you don't use wisdom, because some things you do need to give up. Some things you do need to say, hey, this isn't, like, for us, we enjoy, like, we live close to New Orleans, and we enjoy like going on a Saturday night and like going into Frenchman Street and listening to great jazz. It's local. We enjoy, going on
food adventures.
Yeah, food adventures on Magazine Street and Canal, and going and riding the trolley and having just like the quintessential Southern Louisiana, New Orleans adventure. And the truth is that we don't have the time to do that. We don't have, and so there's some things that maybe for a season you do have to give up. I'm not telling you that everything in your life you have to maintain, you have to keep going. But sometimes you do have to use wisdom. It's okay. You got a cough. It's okay. Sometimes you do have to use wisdom on what it is that you can and cannot do.
Yeah.
And some things you may have to say, hey, I don't have enough room on my plate for this season.
Yeah.
And pick what's important versus what's urgent. But when we're in that space, everything feels really, really, really heavy. But just because it feels that way, it's still holy. Yeah. We feel like we're not giving enough, we're not doing enough. And we need to be quiet, we need to be still, we need to allow ourselves to have proper perspective. We talk about this a little bit, about that going from the fires to getting that flame back up, and what's kind of worked for us lately. But when it comes to like being in burnout, we can feel like everything is like in slow motion. But the truth is in the season that you're in, we wrote this together, you're not behind, you're becoming. You're not behind, you're becoming. So if you're in that moment where you feel like, man, I don't know, like you're in a great position for like breakthrough.
Yeah.
Not to over like woo it, but you are in a great place for like change is coming, right? You're in the seed that does not go into the ground and does not die, bears no fruit. If you're getting buried and you haven't given up, and there's a part of you feel like it's being pulled away, and you feel like you're having a metaphorical death, you're in a place that rebirth is possible. You're in a place where rebirth is happening.
Well, and I think in our quiet time, in those humbling times where things are really heavy and it's really hard, and we're seeing the weight and those crashes, right, coming over us over and over again, and it's like, man, I cannot get out of this hole, or I cannot get out of this valley, or I'm trying to push through, and like you said, sometimes that light at the end of the tunnel just seems like it's getting further and further away, not like we're getting closer to it. One of the things that you and I do is we try to look at the last year and say, okay, but what good has come of this last year? What have we accomplished? What has happened? What revelations have happened? What closeness in our relationship? What have we overcome? And what have happened with our children? What have happened with our grandchildren?
And like, if you're built like you'll make a list and you'll hold yourself to that list. You'll be like, look at all the failure I experienced this year. Instead of, because your lists are crazy. Like they're crazy, like you want to accomplish a lifetime of things in a year. And it's amazing. And if you do a quarter of the things that you have written down for that year, it's like by far and away, you wrote 2 books this year. Like things like that, you don't even stop and consider and like, oh, I did that.
We wrote 2 books this year.
Yeah. Well, I helped a little bit, but you did primary. But it is it's amazing what we'll do is at times to sabotage our progress, right? And if you're in that season where everything is heavy and everything is hard, don't always look for the easy out. Don't always look for, check yourself. Am I having, too many glasses of wine? Am I picking up a habit that's too, things that aren't good for me? Am I overeating? Like what? We're kind of going to talk about toolbox for a minute, but how can we make sure that we're maintaining that burnout isn't the end of our story? It's just an invitation to rebuild. I've heard people say this often. They say, when you lose everything, what a blessing. And you're like, what? Come on. That doesn't make any sense. But when everything, you get a chance now to rewrite the story. Like you get a chance now to totally go in a direction that maybe you've wanted to go in your whole life. Maybe you've wanted to do this your whole life and you've never gotten a chance because you've never had everything swept away. And that's often what can happen in this season. So build the fire back up, right? Yeah. Build the fire back up. So how do we, you wrote this, you don't have to blaze to belong. That's really, really good. So talking about our toolbox, for me personally right now, being grounded again in running and being grounded again in journaling, that's a big, big deal. It kind of allows me to hear, be at peace, calm my brain, because I've got a really overactive, I'll think of 1,000 ways that this can go. Like I can never get it to just be quiet. I wish I was able to, but it's just wired that way. It's early childhood trauma. It's a response. It's a trauma response. And I'm always assessing, always risk assessment constantly. Yeah. And it's overwhelming. So getting in that forced meditative state is really important for me to get some clarity. Like this morning, went for a long run just to have some clarity on this big, big decision. And that's a big deal for me, a big toolbox. And God isn't always rushing healing. We love miracles, right? We love the miracle that happens, but a healing is just as miraculous. It just takes time. As a wound care nurse, you know this. You've spoken to this constantly, but it takes time to heal wounds. It takes time to build the fire back up. And it's amazing when you get positive momentum. It feels like it's like slow creeping, and all of a sudden it's just like skyrocket.
Well, and for me right now, it's been prayer and meditation. It's just been really spending some quiet time to rest and allowing myself to not feel guilty to rest, to heal, and to feel better. I feel super guilty when I miss work. I know that there are patients that rely on me and staff that rely on me. So it makes me feel very uneasy when I miss that. And then when I'm sick and I feel like I'm letting down our family, right? Financially,
right,
physically, cooking, not that I cook, you cook, but I mean,
but planning. But isn't that how we do it though? Isn't that the stories we tell ourselves, the grooves we fall into?
It is.
Like we will feel guilty to take rest and take respite just to catch our breath and go, you know what? I can't go a million. Like we literally sat down with our family and said, okay, this year, this is going to be a tough year. Like we're not going to be able to take a ton of trips, and we're not going to be able to do a lot of the things.
They keep asking about the holidays. It has not been as it gets closer, and we've said, hey, it's going to be lean this year, and we're not going to do a lot of hoo-ha, and it's going to be at home, and they're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Well, we're not going on a trip. Right. We're not, and it's a lot about that leveling
preparation.
Up. Yeah.
We're in a season of preparation, and that's not always easy.
It's not.
It's not always easy.
It's not.
But rebuilding everything, it really, just because you're waiting for that to come, what are you doing in the waiting, right? Are you prepping yourself? Are you preparing yourself? Are you sticking to the toolbox that kind of gets you the fire burning. And my thought process through this whole thing is literally been the last 2 months is, how do I find joy in suffering?
Mm-hmm.
How do I literally find joy in suffering? How do I find and maintain to where I don't want to look back and go, man, this has been a really hard 2 years and I hated every single second of it, because we don't, I who's guaranteed tomorrow? We are so arrogant. So I'm going to live miserably because I'm in the pressure cooker, or can I find joy in a sunrise? Or I do something at work. I make a couple of my coworkers come out. And I say, hey, the sun came up. And we watch the sun come up. I work overnight. I do not enjoy most of, but it's just the season that I'm in.
Yeah.
And it's just the simple things, a simple meal, like really enjoying that meal. You do, a sunset, like, no, look at this, a walk through the woods, whatever we do. What if this is your last chance to do it?
Right.
How differently would you do that?
Yeah.
So why live in misery? Why not find a way to be in joy in the waiting?
So this is part of what I wrote about where I am. And it says, I'm learning that peace is often the answer before the solution ever arrives. And I think that that's very similar to what you're saying, is
100%.
Learning to have peace and joy and contentment in where we are. And one of the scriptures, Isaiah 42:3, it says, a bruised reed will not break, and a smoldering wick he will not snuff out. So that verse just reminds me that God's not mad at me or ashamed of me because I'm it's heavy and I'm moving slowly.
Yeah.
Right? It's okay. He's going to protect me in this season. He's not pushing me to say, but you're not doing enough.
You know what's crazy is I think about, football is really America's pastime, but really historically it's baseball. Baseball has helped us through all kinds of turbulence, from segregation into integration, to beautiful things that have come out of that. And here's what's amazing about baseball. I think this is a thing that still mystifies me, is you can get up to the plate and you can strike out 7 out of 10 times and be considered one of the all-time greats to ever play the game. 7 out of 10 times you can strike out, get out, pop out, ground out. You're out. You failed 7 out of 10 times, and somehow those 3 times, that was more than enough to be an all-star, and maybe you're in that season of life where you just feel like, I'm a bruised reed, I'm a smoldering wick, I am, I'm just one good swoop, one good, catastrophe away. And the truth is, we do have to rely on a higher power. We do have to rely on a healthy community. We do have to have our toolbox ready. Those are things of taking care of your body, taking care of your spiritual self, taking care of your mind. And as you feel like you're maybe the fire's going down a little bit because of the season, you keep the eye on the prize, but it's going to be week by week and day by day.
Yeah.
I'm really bad about, oh my God, it's going to be such a hard, this is a hard year. Like, yeah, but I don't have tomorrow promised. And he's not mad at me because today I woke up and I missed the mark.
Yeah.
But I'm going to get back in the batter's box. I'm going to try again. Yeah. I'm going to get a hold of one.
Yeah.
I am going to get a hold of one. It might not be the next one, but I am going to get a hold of one. So if you feel that way, know that your faith doesn't have to be loud to be alive.
Yeah.
You're that flame on the inside, if it's gone down, you feel like it's barely there, it's still there.
It is.
It's still there.
It is. And it's remarkable how, even before we sat down to do this podcast, you were like, all right, energy up. And I was kind of, I've been sick and whatever.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how sometimes just having the conversation can make you be like, okay, I can take a breath.
Right.
And I can fan the flame. I can be okay with my embers. I can I can make it another week. I can do what needs to be done. And know that you're not alone, right?
You're not in the way. And maybe this season right now is preparation for you, not punishment. Mm-hmm. I had to reframe that. You helped me reframe that because I've experienced incredible loss, almost undescribable loss in different seasons of life. And because of that, I should reframe that. But because I experienced that, I've associated some of what I have and I'm experiencing now professionally because I say it's connected to that. And it's like, no, this isn't punishment.
Right.
This isn't punishment. This is actually the work that you've put into where you're at to be able to work and provide and have a position, have people that actually want you to come and help their operation. And I'm like kicking and fighting. And you're like, no, this isn't punishment.
It's not.
So maybe you're in a season that feels like punishment, but maybe it's preparing season for you.
And for you to be in the position that you're in, managing the number of people that you manage, learning all of the operations and the logistics and the you've been offered promotion and position repeatedly within the company that you're with. And it is because you have a way of motivating people, hearing people, having empathy for people, and encouraging people in their life, even where you are.
Yeah.
People draw to you. And that is a God-given purpose, regardless of if it's in the pulpit or if it's
in the role that you prefer.
Yes.
Right. And that's where we get it wrong. That's where I get it wrong all the time. I get it wrong all the time because it isn't in my preference. It can be really, really dangerous when our preferences become our convictions.
They become our chains.
Yeah, they become the way that we process. Like, this is how it has to happen.
Right.
And it probably isn't going to go the way that you think it's going to go. So just keep preparing, keep working. You can't, more than one thing can be true. You can be tired, but life can still be beautiful. You can be on the verge of exhaustion and still find peace and still go and find strength and fill your cup back up.
I watched that movie Wild yesterday.
Yeah.
And in the movie, she says, there was something my mother used to say that annoyed me. She would say that every day there's a sunrise and a sunset. So you have 2 times every day to witness beautiful moments.
Yeah.
It's whether you choose to do it.
That's right.
And
it's very true.
Every day we have that opportunity and that chance, and to find gratitude for where we are and where we've come from. I think we forget, like we said, in all the refining and in all the pressure cooking and
You're
all
making
the pressure,
progress.
we are making progress and things are getting better. So we just want to say, thank you.
Absolutely.
For everybody who joins us. We've had a few more subscribers this month, and that's been great. We've had a lot of people engaging, which has been really great considering we haven't sat behind the mic in a month. But we've had a lot of engagement this last month on older videos that just have hit people the right way.
And if you're in the process, if you're in the process and you're trying to take steps towards betterment, whatever that means for you, you are not behind, you are becoming. Just please, I wish I could, I want to believe that for myself and believe that for you, that you would just take that to heart and live in that today. Just live in that today. I'm not behind, I'm becoming. I've made progress. You're being more resilient when life comes and tries to knock you down. You're getting back up, you're getting back in the batter's box, and you're going to take another swing at it. So please like, subscribe, comment. We've had a couple folks come up to us personally because we're just putting this out there. To be really transparent, we're just putting this out there because we believe in good comes back. Yes. And so we don't know what the format. And
I'm such an awkward duck when somebody's like, "Oh, we saw your podcast and it's so great. I'm like, ooh, what do I say?
And again, we're not trying to do anything but just offer support and a community where people can feel
100%.
that they're not alone. We do have those 2 tools that Angelica did a lot of that preparation. Those books are available. Had this last month, we had a record amount of purchases of those books. So if you're interested, that information is available. But please, thank you. Please know we're grateful. Thank you for engaging anyway. And just remember, we're here for you. So this is the Healing Project.
Yes.
And we're glad you've been a part of it.
Thank you for joining us.
All right. That's it.
That's it. All right. We gotta take some pictures.